Hey everyone, and welcome back to Master Sight. Today we got the Lone Wolf preview video where I'll be going over my Empire Dust Army that I'm taking. And we'll go over the Lone Wolf tournament and rules as well. So let's go ahead and dive into those rules first, and then we'll cover the army. So Lone Wolf rules have stayed the same as last year. Uh, Mark has a list of custom scenarios. Most of them take what you kind of know out of a dominator control, but then add a twist to it. There's a lot of unique things with it, as well as like progressive scoring in certain scenarios and whatnot. So we won't get that tournament back until like the Friday night before the event. Um, but yeah, so what we do know is what's on the site, which is pretty straightforward as far as the basic rules. We got 2,300 points, withdrawals allowed, but no allies. And then the main thing is the special character. So there's a Lone Ranger or a Lone Wolf at the event. If you watched last year or been last year to Lone Wolf, these guys haven't changed. So um, I will be taking the Lone Wolf myself, but I expect a lot of people will be taking this Ranger. So let's go ahead and go over him first. So, um, yep, so you pick one of them, you use the same character for all 5 games. So the Ranger is an infantry model, it's speed 6, it hits on 4s and melee, but it shoots on 3s at range with defense 5 and 5 attacks. Um, the self-inspiring zero point 0.5 unit strength and is treated as an ally, so it can't benefit from my heal or auras or anything like that. The Ranger has some repeating pistols, so it's a 16-inch range, piercing 2, and shattering. This is nasty because he is also elite. So hitting on 3s at range with elite and piercing 2 and shattering, it makes a lot of shooting armies much better with his addition to it. So I expect to see a lot of these guys across the table with any sort of shooting. So and he has duelist, which even though he doesn't have crushing or thunder, he decent amount of attacks. There's always going to be an individual that you're facing off against. So the Lone Wolf is a cavalry. He's speed 8, hits on 3s in melee, defense 5 with 6 attacks. He also is self inspiring, half a unit strength, also an ally. The Lone Wolf has Dread, which is pretty good for my army and big reason why I took him. He is Crush 1, Thunder 1, Pathfinder, and Vicious. So uh, yeah, pretty good fighty character. Um, but I think just raw power, 1 against 1, I think the Ranger wins out pretty easily here. Hitting on 3s at 16-inch range, piercing 2 with a lead is just disgustingly consistent. Even against, even with cover, even with stealthy auras that we've seen plenty of at the event, this guy's definitely going to get his value. So um, yeah, and then there are unique feats that you can use once per game. So the wolf can become Dread 2 or activate a Cloak of Death, which in my mind, I think the Cloak of Death is always the choice between those two. The Ranger doesn't have as good of feats, but everybody gets +1 nerve within 6 inches of him, or he gains Shattering 2 for a turn. Still both pretty decent. And then no matter which one you take, you could do the OK Partner, which allows you some unique movement abilities in the combat phase. So you target a friendly unit within 9 inches and they get a bonus move. You pick which one, so you can do a 90-degree turn. while remaining in contact with enemy, 180-degree turn. You can do side steps. You can back up D3, or you can overrun or advance D6. Only if you've routed an enemy or if you're out of combat. So, yeah. So I expect that we'll see some of the top ones from the Wolf. I expect we'll see Cloak of Death, and from Rangers, it's a toss up, but they're probably going to go Shattering 2 on a turn that they really want to kill something. So, yep. So that's what we know. That's what we expect. But being at Lone Wolf the past couple years, we also know what to expect for those scenarios, and they're gonna be different for sure. So we're gonna do our best. Let's go ahead dive into my list. So, um, yeah, I'm taking a little bit different version of EoD. I really wanted to try out Bone Giant. So, but we're pretty consistent still. So we got 2 regiments of skeleton spearmen, a troop of mummies, a regiment of mummies, a horde of skeleton warriors, 2 hordes of enslaved guardians, one with J boots, the other with pipes of terror. We got 2 scavenger regiments. I have the Soul Snare, a Bone Giant with Slayer, Monolith. We do have a Naked Revenant Champion on foot as well. Sevic Ray, the Accursed, and Idol of Shobik brings us out to 15 drops, 26 unit strength. Yeah, pretty happy with it. I've always been a big fan of giants in general, and now that the Bone Giant has gotten, his Big Daddy upgrade to a regular giant status now, I think he's a great choice. Definitely a little expensive than the flying worm that we had been taking up till now. So we had to adjust the list slightly for that. But do expect to see a lot of, defense 6, large infantry, so that extra Slayer is gonna be really nice for him. So, yeah, so really excited to kind of see how this works out. At Lone Wolf, they do allow challenges, which I did do a challenge this year. So we already know who we're playing against. The matchup casts already happened, so everybody's seen lists and whatnot. So if you haven't checked out the challenge video, go take a look back. It was I don't know, a couple weeks ago now, maybe, but yeah, take a look at that challenge video. I will be playing against England's finest in Tom Robinson. So let's just take a quick little peek over at Tom's list, and then we'll kind of wrap it up from there. So Tom will be taking the Lone Ranger, and like I said, I'm taking the Wolf. So Tom is playing Northern Alliance. He's got 2 regiments of pack hunters, 3 hordes of ice elementals, one with the fire oil. He has 3 snow foxes. He has 2 ice queens, both with heal and surge. One with the amulet of Fireheart and Bane Chant, and the other one has Conjurer's Staff. 3 Snow Patrol Primes. One of them has Trickster's Wand. And then he has the formation with the troops of half-elf berserkers and the Frostclaw regiment, which he did give the ice bombs to. So he comes out to 16 drops, but 23 unit strength. So 1 more drop than me, slightly less unit strength is all. I have 26 to his 23. So, yeah, very solid list. Obviously, leaning in a lot to the shooting. Those ice elementals did get, adjusted 12-inch range for their shooting. Is they're back to being a little scary, but yeah, I think that it'll be a fun game. I think that there are clearly some things that match up well from his list to mine and vice versa. So it'll be a good tactical fight, and it all comes down to what scenario is being played. But we do get to deploy our own terrain as well at Lone Wolf. So that will be, I think, a benefit for me to be able to make sure I get certain areas of the field where I'm going to be getting cover with my key units against all this shooting. And I think that's going to be a key factor for sure. So but we'll see. It looks like our game might be streamed for the first round. So if it is, great if you guys want to watch it. It'll be Saturday morning. Otherwise, I'll be doing my normal battle reports, the week after the event. You'll get to see all my pictures and my takes on the game. So, uh, yeah, that's all I got for tonight. I really appreciate everybody that's been watching these videos. If you do like the channel and haven't subscribed yet, I would appreciate that if you do. Doesn't cost you anything. Um, and yeah, we'll see you on game one, where we talk about our game against Tom. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you.